hunt, 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 hunt. Hunt, 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 hunt,
Welcome to the Where to Hunt podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. I'm your host, Eric Clark, and I don't talk to you about what I know. I talk to you about what I want to know. This is episode 12. Today is March 9th. It's late in the day. Just trying to get to this, trying to do one a week. Really trying to stick to my goals. So thanks for listening. Today's topic is about what to hunt, or in some cases, what not to hunt, and what we're able and or allowed to hunt legally, that is. And for whatever reason, there's been a bunch of articles that have caught my attention in the hunting industry as far as the news publications and periodicals that exist. The first one that I'm going to cover here is that it's actually from the channel3000.com. It's about a lone wolf who stalks Minnesota snowmobilers. And apparently this trail has been rerouted because of wolf sightings. This particular article talks about a single lone wolf who has been following snowmobile riders on a stretch of trail in the far northern Minnesota, according to a park official. So I'm going to actually quote the article here. The Associated Press reports several miles of trail have been closed and rerouted in Voyageurs National Park because of the wolf. The park official told the AP that the wolf has either trailed or run alongside snowmobilers on 3 separate occasions over a 10-day period. So the official told the AP that the wolf appears to be without a pack. Oddly enough, wolves are extremely territorial, and not all wolves can stick with a pack due to their pecking order that they have. They have the alpha male, alpha female, and if that wolf is a little bitch of a wolf and can't stick it with those guys, he's out. And what'll end up happening is he remains a lone wolf because it's very hard for another pack to take him on. He'd have to assert himself as, an authority figure, which if there's a pre-existing pack somewhere else that's already territorial, he can't just go into that. So if he's a lone wolf, in this particular instance, it might be the case that he's more prone to attack people because he's hungry, doesn't have the pack to do all that hunting with, and so that could be part of it. It says that the wolf has yet to attack anyone, yet keyword, and wildlife officials are attempting to track the lone wolf to learn more about its behavior. That's one article. I do have another one which actually has a clip that I'm going to play to talk about it, so you don't have to hear me ramble on. But this is a wolf that actually had attacked a teen camper in Minnesota. So a lot of stuff coming out of Minnesota. We'll get to another instance in Wisconsin that was recent. But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip real quick here.
State wildlife experts call Saturday's attack freakish and unprecedented.
Our records do not reflect that we've had wolf attacks like this in Minnesota.
It was 4 a.m, and 16-year-old Noah Graham was sleeping outside a tent in the West Winnie campground. That's when the 75-pound male gray wolf clamped its jaws onto his skull.
The wolf just came up behind Noah. They didn't hear anything, and I just grabbed him by the back of the head and wouldn't let go.
His laceration required 17 staples to close, and he has several puncture wounds behind the ear. He's already begun a regimen to fight off potential rabies.
Well, he had to physically pry the jaws of the wolf open and to get it off of him. And once he got it off of him and was up, the wolf stood there growling at him, and he had to shout at it and kick at it to get it to go away.
Still, the question is, why did this lone wolf attack? After it was captured and killed, an exam shows the wolf had a deformed jaw that may have made it less effective hunting down wild prey.
It's too early to speculate as far as the condition or the causes with this animal, but it is not characteristic of wolves to approach people.
I would have to agree that I don't personally, and I know it's subjective to say that, believe that it is common, like the DNR person had said, that for wolves to attack like that. And in fact, according to this article, now this is from wideopenspaces.com. This article was posted 4 days ago. Again, today's March 9th, and I'm recording this particular episode. The article is called Wolf Attacks Teen Camper in Minnesota. And it basically is saying that this attack, quote, this attack may well be the only wolf attack in Minnesota's history, end quote. Says that the wolf was killed and was found to have a deformed jaw, which may have helped cause, or help, that's a weird word to use, sorry, contributed to the cause of why the wolf had attacked, because maybe it wasn't able to actually get any other food because it can't open its jaw, interestingly enough. And again, this being another lone wolf situation, whereas the other article talked about a lone wolf stalking snowmobilers or running alongside of them, versus this one, a lone wolf that had actually attacked a 16-year-old camper at 4 a.m. That'd be one hell of a thing to wake up to. Could you freaking imagine that? This kid had to get, I believe it was, what did it say here? 17 staples to the head and a rabies shot. Oh, holy shit. That would suck bad. And I don't know, man. Waking up to alarms bad enough, but not a wolf bite on your freaking head and skull. So he threw this thing off. It starts growling at him. I don't know. It didn't really go into full detail. The article is actually really short, and the video is only about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So it didn't go into more detail. There is a picture of this kid's head with staples on it. It's pretty gruesome looking, actually. So that's 2 articles that caught my attention, and all this in conjunction with the fact that, not that it has much to do with it, perhaps it may, but the fact that you can't hunt wolves anymore, per the bill that had passed on December 19th of 2014. Now that bill has let's see here. I have another article. Sorry. From the postcrescent.com, there's an article called "Bills Would Drop Federal Protections for Wolves." So there have been, this battle going on with putting the wolves on endangered species lists and dropping it, so on and so forth. And I think it's gone back and forth since for 4 or 5 different times. Don't quote me there. I'm going to quote the article. We'll get some better information here other than what I have off the cuff of my brain. But essentially it says, quote, "With the measures, lawmakers are seeking to intervene a second time in the issue of wolf protection, drawing accusations from environmental groups of melding with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Authority to determine which animals should be listed under the Endangered Species Act." Congress in 2011 took the unprecedented step of removing wolves in Idaho, Montana, and sections of Utah, Washington, Oregon from the list. So it's talking about other states. It does circle back around to the Great Lakes. The stories we've been hearing over and over from our farmers and ranchers are tragic. There's all sorts of issues where wolves are, eating livestock and pets, and it's pretty gruesome. I'm sure if you're on social media, you would have seen some of the pictures, perhaps. Trying to scroll down here. Here we go. So the federal government has tried 4 times since 2003. 4 times. I was almost correct. I said 3 or 4, or maybe I said 4 or 5. Doesn't matter. To lift protections for Great Lake wolves, only to be, that's a weird word, stymied by lawsuits. In her December ruling, U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell sided with groups contending the state's regulatory plans, which include hunting and Minnesota and Wisconsin trapping, don't provide enough protection. She noted the wolves haven't come close to repopulating their historic range, which, if you look at the numbers, is kind of bullshit, actually. The population of wolves has gone substantially far beyond what was predicted if the DNR's count is anything near accurate, which that could be questionable all in of itself. But I think the state should have its own regulations in place to manage our wolf population. The fact that the federal government and the the Fish and Wildlife, whatever the hell that is, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services has reign over that for us as a state, including Minnesota and the other Great Lakes states. I just think it's kind of weird. I mean, we had a successful hunt the last, I believe it was 2 years, for wolves to help control their population. And in terms of conservation, if the wolves are to be around for a longer duration of time, it would be in their best interest to allow to be hunted, because that's something that we'd want to keep doing. So thus we would help control and manage the population. We're not going to wipe the damn things out. Anyway, that's my little rant. There was one more article about a naturalist skiing along some wolf tracks. No harm here, no stalking, no biting of her scalp or anything like that. But she said she was cross-country skiing, and this was in Wisconsin. It was in, goodness gracious, let me see if I can find where. It was Rock Lake Ski Park in Cable, Wisconsin, which is like north central Wisconsin, high north central Wisconsin, from what it looks like when I look at the satellite on the map here. There's some actual photos that she posted too, basically, and she actually put her hand next to one of the wolf tracks, and the wolf track is practically bit wider than her hand, about as tall. Pretty interesting to see in a photograph on the snow. But she said it was looked like there actually was a pack of wolves walking along that trail, and goes on about that. You can find the article at thepostcrescent.com. Again, the article is called "Naturalist Emily Stone Skis Along Wolf Tracks." That was posted fairly recent to March 8th, 2015. So all the articles I had found were from this month. Lots going on. We'll have to keep our ear to the ground, finger on the pulse of what's going to happen with this damn bill as far as getting the wolves to be able to be hunted again. We'll see what happens there. It's been an interesting back and forth. It's like a freaking ping pong game, man. Back and forth and back and forth. Anyway, so I want to keep the episodes as short as possible to retain your attention. As always, thanks for listening. Hope the last 2 episodes were good and informative, as well as this one. If you have any interesting wolf stories, if you've ever been treed, stalked, if you have wolves on your trail cam, if you found wolf tracks, share your stories. Comment on the Facebook page or the blog or the forum or the iTunes rating board, or share some photos with us if you have any. I'd love to see them. I would shit my pants if I saw wolves in the woods where I was hunting, unless I was hunting for them and was fully prepared, and that was expected. If it wasn't expected, if I was deer hunting and saw some wolves, because they're pack animals, I know they're never alone typically, unless it's one of these lone wolves, which in that case, oh my gosh, maybe you'd be attacked anyways. Nonetheless, Minnesota had only one, according to this article, which I don't know how credible or valid it is, but one wolf attack, which was on that 16-year-old boy who was camping. So share your stories. If you like the podcast, even if you don't, give me some feedback so I know how to improve it. And if you do like it, give me the thumbs up so I can keep going here. And I'd really appreciate the rating on iTunes. Thank you so much for listening. Hunt Public. Have a great day.